Welcome, everyone, to Sleep and Healthy Heart, the place where we explore the mysteries of health and life. Before we dive into today's incredibly important topic, I'd like to invite you to take a moment to subscribe, share this episode, and leave a positive comment to help motivate us to bring you even more valuable content. Your support is invaluable. Have you ever wondered if just a few nights of poor sleep could have serious consequences for your heart? The answer is yes, and the level of danger might surprise you. In today's podcast episode, we will dissect the complex biological mechanisms linking sleep to the risk of heart disease, based on the latest and most credible scientific research. This isn't just information, it's a wake-up call and the key to protecting your heart. Part 1. The Introduction. Is sleep the silent enemy of your heart? Listeners, in our fast-paced modern lives, sleep is often undervalued, traded for work, entertainment, or screen time. Many people boast about burning the midnight oil or pulling all-nighters for work, but few realize that every hour of sleep lost is a health debt that our heart has to bear. Cardiovascular disease is widely recognized as the leading cause of death globally, accounting for nearly 1/3 of all deaths in 2016. And the connection between sleep and CVD is becoming increasingly clear and alarming. Studies have shown that both too little and too much sleep are significantly associated with the risk of death from cardiovascular disease. This is a fact we cannot ignore. But what really happens inside our bodies when we deprive ourselves of sleep or extend it for too long? What biological mechanisms are silently at work, turning sleep into a potential danger for our heart? Let's find out together. Part 2. The immediate danger. Just a few nights of poor sleep can cause serious harm. What if I told you that just 3 consecutive nights of sleep deprivation are enough to cause harmful biological changes to your heart, even if you are young and healthy? This isn't speculation, it's the shocking result of a study by scientists at Uppsala University in Sweden, published in the journal Biomarker Research. In this study, 16 healthy young men were closely monitored in a lab environment, with complete control over their meals, activity levels, and lighting. They went through 2 phases: 3 nights of sufficient sleep, 8.5 hours per night, and 3 nights of severely restricted sleep, only about 4.25 hours per night. The results were truly astounding. An increase in inflammatory markers in the blood. Lack of sleep significantly increased the concentration of inflammatory proteins. Notably, these proteins are directly linked to the risk of serious cardiovascular conditions, such as heart failure, coronary artery disease, and arrhythmias, atrial fibrillation. This shows that the body begins to react negatively after just a short period of sleep deprivation. Diminished benefits of exercise. Typically, physical activity activates beneficial proteins like interleukin-6 and BDNF, which promote heart and brain health. However, the study revealed that the effectiveness of these proteins was significantly reduced after the period of sleep deprivation. This means that even if you try to exercise to compensate for poor sleep, your body cannot fully reap the benefits. The researchers also noted that exercising while sleep-deprived could slightly increase the strain on heart muscle cells. These adverse biological reactions appeared even in young, healthy individuals, highlighting the importance of sleep for cardiovascular health from an early age. Sleep also affects the body's circadian rhythm, with protein levels in the blood fluctuating more dramatically during sleep deprivation, disrupting the timing of biological responses. Part 3. The deeper biological mechanisms. Silent, long-term damage. Beyond the immediate effects, sleep deprivation triggers a series of complex biological mechanisms that cause long-term damage to the cardiovascular system. Scientists are still conducting research to understand this better, but what we already know is enough to make us reconsider the importance of sleep. Increased systemic inflammation. Short sleep duration can increase levels of C-reactive protein, CRP, a marker of stress and inflammation. Elevated CRP is an independent risk factor for circulatory and cardiovascular disease. This systemic inflammation is one of the ways poor sleep negatively affects cardiovascular function. Disruption of the nervous and endocrine systems. Activation of the sympathetic nervous system. Sleep deprivation can stimulate the sympathetic nervous system, leading to the release of catecholamines through the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system. This stimulation, in turn, reduces sleep duration, creating a dangerous vicious cycle. Hormonal imbalance. Lack of sleep affects endocrine and metabolic functions, including reducing levels of leptin, the satiety hormone, and increasing levels of ghrelin, the hunger hormone. Chronically sleep-deprived individuals also have higher levels of stress hormones in their blood. Circadian rhythm disruption. Poor sleep disrupts the body's internal clock, causing hormonal confusion and leading to more production of stress-related substances. Impact on metabolism and chronic disease risk. Insulin resistance and diabetes. Sleep deprivation can increase insulin resistance, a major factor that raises the risk of developing type 2 diabetes and cardiovascular disease. Obesity. Sleep restriction contributes to obesity, which is a significant factor in CVD-related mortality. Sleep-deprived people tend to snack more, especially on sweet, fatty foods, and are less physically active due to fatigue. All of this increases the risk of obesity and heart attacks. High blood pressure and high cholesterol. Poor sleep is linked to an increased risk of hypertension and high cholesterol levels.
Part 4. Changes in cardiovascular structure and specific sleep disorders. Sleep not only affects biochemical processes, but also has a direct impact on the structure and function of the cardiovascular system and is linked to pre-existing sleep disorders. Arterial stiffness and blood pressure variability. Sleeping too long, not just too short, is also associated with arterial stiffness and fluctuations in blood pressure. Calcium buildup. Researchers have found that people who regularly sleep 9 or more hours per night have more calcium buildup in their heart's arterial walls and stiffer arteries in their legs compared to those who sleep 7 hours per night. Strain on the heart. A good quality night's sleep helps reduce the workload on the heart as blood pressure and heart rate decrease at night. Conversely, a lack of sleep can keep the heart rate elevated, a sign of increased stress on the heart muscle. Sleep disorders in cardiovascular disease. Sleep apnea. Many people with insomnia also suffer from sleep apnea, a known risk factor for cardiovascular disease. Sleep apnea can be caused by an obstruction of the upper airway or by the brain failing to send signals to the muscles that control breathing. This condition increases the risk of complications or death from heart failure. Irregular sleep patterns. A recent study by Huang et al. Indicated that the risk of CVD is more than double in people with irregular sleep durations compared to those with regular sleep patterns. Gender differences. Studies show that both short and long sleep durations increase the risk of CVD mortality in both men and women. In particular, a new study found that women with chronic insomnia or who sleep less than 5 hours a night have a higher risk of heart disease. Those with chronic insomnia symptoms who also slept less than 5 hours had a 75% higher risk of heart disease even after adjusting for other cardiovascular risk factors. This emphasizes the need for the medical community to address sleep issues in women as a crucial part of managing their overall heart health.
Part 5. Change for a healthy heart. Dear listeners, after all this information, it's clear that sleep is not just a simple biological need, but an indispensable pillar of cardiovascular health. Poor quality sleep, whether short-term or chronic, can lead to serious consequences, from changes in inflammatory proteins to metabolic disorders and structural changes in the heart. So, what can we do to protect our hearts from this silent threat? Here is some helpful advice from health experts in the American Heart Association that you can apply starting today. Get enough sleep. Adults should aim for an average of 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. Infants and children need more depending on their age. Teenagers should get at least 8 to 9 hours per night. Maintain a consistent sleep schedule. Try to go to bed and wake up at the same time every day, even on weekends. This helps regulate your body's internal clock. Create an ideal sleep environment. Keep your bedroom cool, dark, and quiet. Dim the lights in your room before bed to signal to your brain that it's time to relax. Limit blue light and electronic devices. Power down electronic devices at least 30 minutes before bed and place them out of reach. The bright blue light from screens can disrupt the production of melatonin, the hormone that regulates sleep. Avoid caffeinated alcohol and heavy meals before bed. Do not consume caffeinated beverages after 3 p.m. Avoid eating or drinking within a few hours of bedtime, especially alcohol and foods high in fat or sugar. Exercise regularly. Daily physical activity helps improve sleep quality and protect cardiovascular health. However, you should avoid high-intensity exercise within a few hours of going to sleep. Establish a relaxing bedtime routine. Spend 20 to 30 minutes winding down before bed, such as reading a book, meditating, or taking a warm bath. Consult a medical professional. If you experience symptoms of chronic insomnia, sleep apnea, or other sleep disorders, seek advice from a doctor. Issues like sleep apnea can be treated with a continuous positive airway pressure machine, which helps regulate breathing and improve the heart's ability to pump blood. Remember, quality sleep is an investment in your long-term health, the foundation for a strong heart and an energetic life. Small changes in your daily habits can bring enormous benefits to your heart and overall well-being. Make sleep care an essential part of a healthy, balanced lifestyle. Important disclaimer: the content in this podcast episode is for general informational purposes only. It is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you have any concerns about your health, please consult with your doctor or a qualified healthcare provider. Thank you for tuning in to this special episode. We hope the information we shared has given you valuable insights and the motivation to take better care of your sleep. Don't forget to subscribe, share this episode with friends and family, and leave a comment about what you learned or any questions you'd like us to answer in future episodes. We'll see you next time, and we wish you a healthy heart and restful nights.